Criminal Minds Evolution is currently mid-season, with new episodes dropping every week. But if you're criminally impatient, we've got a sneak peek at what's in store. We have an exclusive clip. Let's check it out.
The unsubs in this revised network are coming fast and furious, but we can't catch them if we're exhausted. Even Voit knows that. So, we all need to get some rest? Yes? Yes.
You okay, kid?
Yes, we all need some sleep. And even though we got 3 unsubs off the streets, I can't help but feel that this new network, they're just waking up. What the f?
Hey! Let me out!
What's your emergency?
My name is Claire Thatcher and I have been kidnapped.
Can you tell me where you're located?
I don't know. I just know I'm in some kind of weird box and I'm stuck.
Claire, I'm gonna need you to calm down. We'll track your GPS.
Oh God.
Claire, tell me what's happening.
Oh God. Oh God. I know where I am.
Stay calm. Give me as much detail as you can.
I think I'm underground. I'm in a coffin underground.
Wasn't that great? Please welcome showrunner and executive producer Erica Messer and the stars Joe Mantegna, Aisha Tyler, and Zach Gilford. Joe, help me out here. What is going on with that poor lady in the coffin? I'm pulling for her.
I wish I could help you. We often have people in boxes underground on occasion, and so this is just another example of that. I mean, I really, it's hard for me to call specifically what's going on in that
Joe's
particular...
like, listen, we bury a lady in a box every week. We gotta be more specific. And plus, we can't tell you because, spoiler alert.
She's a character I've not seen before on Criminal Minds, so I'm sure she'll be fine, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Aisha, what can you tell us about the new network that is just waking up? What are Elias's followers doing? Are they part of that?
I love that you keep asking us questions that we cannot possibly answer. So tell us what happens at the end of this season. Who lives, you guys? I will say that, at this point in the season, we do know that there are people that idealize and idolize.
I think I'm idolizable.
Yes, you're very idol. That's on your Tinder profile.
I am not on Tinder.
No, you're not on Tinder. None of us are on Tinder. But what's Tinder? But I think there are people that have seen what he has done and maybe want to, emulate him. And that is all I feel like we can never say anything about the show. Erica, what can we say about the show?
I don't know. Everything feels like a spoiler at this point. So you just have to watch.
We're okay with that.
Episode 6 airs this week, and that was that. Yeah. So you got to stay tuned.
Well, Erica, already renewed for a 19th season, Criminal Minds seems like one of those shows it's going to go on forever, right? But how cool is it to participate in something which changes and evolves like this?
It's been an incredible ride. I've been on the show since 2005. I'm the only writer who's been there the whole run. And at the core, it's good versus evil, and that, sadly, is an endless tale to tell. And this iteration of it, Evolution, we really wanted to challenge what our heroes could go through. And so in walks this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And definitely gives them a run for their money.
Yeah, Elias, not Zach.
Yeah, no, Zach's nice.
Zach is a really nice guy.
Zach's a nice guy.
Well, Aisha and Joe, you both directed episodes of the show in this season. How hard and or fun was that for part of your job? Zach too?
Zach, didn't you direct
I
last
did
season?
season 2.
Yeah, which was amazing, and it was your
Well,
first
all
episode.
It's my
answer,
first time
please.
ever.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love this cast so much, and so getting to direct your friends is really exciting. And I feel like it's a really cohesive cast. Everybody wants everybody else to win, so you're kind of already starting ahead of the starting line in terms of just enthusiasm and support. Joe's an amazing director, just really supportive and easy, and he knows what he wants. And so it's just like you get to play with your friends, right? And you get to make the greatest show about serial killers ever made. Yes.
Yeah, and I was blessed enough.
Suck it,
The
Dexter.
episode that I directed, there was that one character I had to cast, and I had this dear friend. People, this crowd might be a little young to remember. There was a show called Alice that was on years ago. The great Linda Lavin was the star of that show. And as it turned out, there was a role that we needed that she fit perfectly for. She was a dear friend of mine. Cast her in the role. She did an amazing job. And as it turned out, she ultimately passed away some months later, and so it turns out to be her very final performance as an actress.
And you got to direct that.
Yeah, I got the chance to direct that. So, I mean, I just feel, Linda, that was for you, honey. She really delivered. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you answered the question I was going to ask you. So, Aisha, you directed the Zookeeper episode.
I did.
Which was particularly creepy. A man who calls himself the Zookeeper.
Yeah.
You could guess. What was it like taking the reins on that particular episode and directing Eldon Henson, who's one of our favorites
I
from
love him so
Daredevil?
much. Yeah, no, I really scored with that episode. It was super. I do always seem to get an episode where people are either like locked in a box underground or locked in a glass box in a basement or locked in a tube. But that was really fun because Eldon's such a great actor, and I also think like Zach's done a really beautiful job on the show of, Elias is a really terrible person, but Zach's humanized him in a lot of ways, and I think it's not about making serial killers into good people, but it is about trying to understand what can go wrong in a human being, what can turn them into a monster. So that show really was about a guy who was portraying one kind of personality outside and another one in his home, and you could see that he was damaged. And Eldon just did such a good job of like playing those two sides of the same coin, switched really beautifully. And then our heroine got to save herself, which I really loved. A lot of times we show up and we're like, right before bad stuff's about to happen, pew pew pew. But she got to get a couple licks in herself before we saved the day, and I really liked that.
I loved it. Zach, now that your character, Elias, has amnesia, what opportunities does that give you to play the character, I don't know, completely differently?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's not very often you get to play a character for the third season of a show and like re-meet all the different characters. So it's a lot of fun. You just kind of come at it and you're like, all right, it's this guy, but he's never met any of these people, so you're just there for the first time. And, I think Joe's my dad.
Yeah.
Apparently he's not.
I remember that. One of my favorite
yeah,
moments.
it's cool. It's been a lot of fun, and to kind of not that I would have to do the same thing over and over, but like find all these different parts of this character and his personality.
In the Zookeeper, that's when he has that dad moment, and it was really important that we not play that for comedy, even though I'm sure people were gonna, be shocked by it. That this is a guy who doesn't know who he is, doesn't know anything about anything, and the only face he recognizes is the guy that has been pursuing him. And he feels a connection, and he assumes it's his father, and that was just beautifully done by everybody involved. I mean, David Rossi was not pleased.
I was happy.
I was in a restaurant just a couple nights ago. It was one of my daughter's birthdays. And we walked in the restaurant, the girl behind the counter, the maitre d', looked at me and she went, "Oh my God, I have to ask you something. Are you Elias Voit's father?" I said, "Well, keep watching."
Well, I personally enjoyed you calling him a jagoff, and I do repeat
That's the greatest thing about being on Paramount, man. Just dropping bombs all over the place.
Zach, do you feel that Elias can be redeemed?
Do I feel he can be redeemed? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's done some bad stuff, allegedly. But I think that's kind of the cool thing about this season, too, is like if someone, regrets what they did and they have different brain chemistry and they clearly are not that person anymore, like how do you deal with that person? How do you view them? Do you forgive them? I don't know, what do you do with them?
Right.
You still gotta go to jail, right? I don't know.
Or do you try to extract some humanity from this person, some value? You know, the whole point is this guy knows stuff that we need to know.
Yeah.
We got to get it out of him, and maybe he wants to try to do something.
So you guys are just using me?
We're using like a tube of toothpaste, bro.
Oh man.
We're gonna squeeze you out.
Great.
Well, Erica, some of the characters are incredulous that someone like Elias, a potential evil genius, has amnesia at all. What is your take on that?
I think, well, one of the reasons we gave Elias Voit amnesia was so that we could play these different levels of him. So now we have this killer in custody, but he has a conscience. And that's a very different role that he gets to play. And we did extensive studies on people who have had traumatic brain injuries and how their personalities can completely change after such an event. So,
Right, like
so
people
Elias
wake up and
Voit
they can
gets-
speak a different language.
Right, some people speak a different language, some people still remember killing, but they feel so bad about it now. And that's what we decided to play, to give Zach something new to play. And we'll see. We'll see if it sticks.
It's really tested me all season, I gotta say. For everyone, how important is it to keep the show grounded in reality?
Well, I think it's pretty important. I try to write real simple, scary stories that would ideally hit everybody here in this audience, because it could happen. But I also feel like we get to do this exploration of the heroes who get to fight the evil in the world. And it's really a celebration of all those people who do all that hard work. So.
Yeah. I mean, we met, right? We met the real people. A lot
Yeah.
of the real people that
That's
we met the real Emily Prentice.
Yeah, I put her in one of the episodes I directed. She's walking through there right past Pageant, so they don't realize the real Emily is crossing the pretend Emily, you know. Just was something for us. And that's one thing I think that we never forget, is that there really is an organization, the Behavior Analysis Unit of the FBI. So many of us have been to Quantico numerous times, and so we want to represent these people in an honest, some people will say to me, well, don't you find it's gruesome and crazy and wild and shocking? And I go, yeah, and I think it needs to be, because we don't want to pull any punches. We want to show the audiences that this is what these people really do for a living. And if it's shocking and sometimes frightening and scary, just think what, those people who have to do it every day, for real.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of respect for what they do, and hopefully we found an entertaining, interesting way to show what goes on in their lives.
I mean, I just want to support and tag that, which is like, these people are out there trying to keep the rest of us safe. We need government workers, y'all. They're out there fighting crime. We need them. They're putting the bad guys away so we can be out here at this con acting like fools. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, someone
Good
said
point.
the word fool, and I have one last question coming from the nerds in the control room, and myself, and the nerds out here as well. We are huge fans of animation and TV, right, everyone? So I have to ask, what might Ace Secret Agent Lana Kane be an asset to the Criminal Minds team? Same question for Fat Tony and Matt Saracen.
I couldn't hear it. What?
Would Matt Saracen be an asset to the BAU team?
Yeah, he's a hard worker. I don't know. He was smart. He wasn't that smart.
Right.
But he compensated by.
Yeah, he's a hard worker.
Yeah, he trained. He worked really hard.
he'd
Throwing
be
the football
there.
through the
He
tire.
would throw the ball if they needed him. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to keep Fat Tony out of craft services, though, because, because he don't get mad, he gets stabbed.
I mean, obviously, Lana Kane is the greatest super spy to ever live. So I think she would be an absolute asset to the BAU. But she should probably put on more clothes, right? Like, I don't really think that outfit is appropriate for government work. Like, pants would be nice for
But
Lana.
she looks so good.
Yeah.
I've legitimately worn that outfit for Halloween. I'm not just pandering to you. It's a good outfit. Anyway, thank you all so much. You can catch a brand new episode of Criminal Minds Evolution this Thursday on Paramount Plus. But right now, there's more IGN Live coming up.